I am Mickey Griffith with the Referral Institute, and it is my pleasure to introduce your speaker for the day. Anybody here not know Mike Macedonio? Anybody ever not see Mike speak? All right, good. Good, perfect. Let me give you an introduction. Mike Macedonio is a New York Times best-selling author, speaker, and entrepreneur. Mike and his business partner, Dr. Ivan Meisner, co-founded the world's best-known marketing secret, co-authored Building Your Business by Referral, and Truth or Delusion, Busting Networking's Biggest Myths, which has hit several bestsellers lists, including New York Times, Wall Street Journal, USA Today, and Amazon. Mike is the managing partner of the Referral Institute. By using the referral strategies that he teaches, Mike has built his company from a small training and consulting company to a franchise organization with over 60 locations in 16 countries. Wow. Mike is also a co-executive director for BNI in the Bay Area. In his role, he helps thousands of local business owners build their businesses through structured business networking. Mike gives back to his community by volunteering. He holds a position on the board of directors for the Wisconsin Big Cat Rescue, a nonprofit organization caring for abused or neglected tigers and lions. He is also an avid cyclist. One of his proudest moments was recently competing in the Leadville Trail 100. When he is not helping entrepreneurs, big cats, and cycling, he has a passion for his wife and entertaining friends. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Macedonio.
Well, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to BNI on Steroids. No Scrooges allowed. We are going to be video streaming today's little workshop, so that's Susan right there. If you've told somebody that you were not going to be here, we're going to be somewhere else, it cannot be edited. All right, so for the people that are viewing from their chapter meetings, from other meeting locations, if everybody could just turn to them and let's wave to them. Okay, and if you're viewing this from another screen, if you want to wave back, well, welcome. If you have any questions, you can message that through Susan, and Susan will ask us here live, and we'll be able to still interact even if it's by video. So thank you. Mickey mentioned that I'm on the board of directors for the Big Cats, something that my wife and I support, the Big Cat Rescue. We had a sad occurrence this morning from the Big Cat Rescue, but it's not really that sad. Well, one of our oldest cats passed this morning. But the celebration part was yesterday she turned 19. Taz turned 19. Cats in the wild don't even live half that. Okay? It's in fact that this cat was abused, neglected, just almost destroyed, saved, and then put in a rescue to live 19 wonderful years is pretty amazing. So, but today what I'm going to be talking about is how and where to network and how to get the most out of your networking. Okay? And before we get started, I do want to recognize our sponsors. The sponsors for this event was Referral Institute. Okay, and that's Mickey and Leslie. I think Leslie still may be outside, but we'll introduce her later. And we're also doing this to the benefit of the food bank, the Redwood Empire Food Bank. So the food that you brought and donated, of course, will be going to them today. Also, your entry fee that you paid will be matched, and we'll be also contributing that to the food bank. One of the things that I love about the food bank is they are what I consider multipliers. So too many times, unfortunately, nonprofits have expenses, and by the time they take care of all their expenses, very little resources can go to the cause that they're trying to support. With the food bank, because of the way they're partnered with food producers and food wholesalers, what we would spend $10 to buy food, for example, at Safeway to give out, they can turn that $10 into $50 because of the wholesale purchasing, the partnering, and the people that they have working behind them. So the money that we bring them becomes a multiplier and actually helps many families with meals, not only during the holidays, but year-round. So that's one of our causes today. There's Leslie, I mentioned. Everyone say hello to Leslie, she's with the Referral Institute. Between Leslie and Mickey, they cover the Marin area in Sonoma County. So have an opportunity to talk with either of them today. I highly encourage you to do that. Okay? This workshop will go on for 2 hours. It is adult learning. At any point you feel I gotta get up. Get up. Restrooms are right outside the door here. There is some breakfast, snack stuff, and coffee and water. Please help yourself anything you'd like. And because of the size of the room we're going to be working with today, we're actually going to be doing some interactive stuff. Okay, so I'm actually going to get you networking. All right, sound good?
Yeah.
All right. So for those that have seen me present in the past, you know I like asking questions. Okay, it's better known as the quiz. All right, so should we start off with a quiz?
Sure.
All right, here's your first quiz. Truth or delusion? You can network anywhere, anytime. You can network anywhere, anytime, even at a funeral or your holiday dinner.
True.
How many think that's true? How many think that's a delusion? How many think it's just rude?
Situation.
It is true. Okay. However, here's the caveat to that. There's a truth behind that. Okay. First is that we honor the event. Okay. So certainly it wouldn't be appropriate at a funeral to be handing out our business cards. Okay. Or interrupt the eulogy and asking the people to do introductions. Would you agree? Okay. So the first part of it is to honor the event, and the second part of it is we understand coming to networking with a mindset of networking is about helping others as a way of growing your business. Okay? Networking is about helping others as a way of growing your business. Would you say there's always an opportunity to be helping somebody, even at a funeral or your holiday party? Okay, so that's the mindset that we take when we look at our ability to network. Okay, that our effective business networking is about helping others as a way of growing our business, and that we honor the event. Now, how many of you are involved in BNI right now? Okay, do we have some people that are also part of a core group, I believe? You're starting a new chapter, and that's the one in Sebastopol?
Yes.
Okay, so here we're looking for some help, guys. Who do you know, the Sebastopol area that wants to be part of this new exciting group that's forming? Okay, so we're going to look to find you some help today. So now, inside of BNI, many times I'll be asked to go to a chapter meeting, and they'll say, hey, Mike, you want to do your weekly presentation? And I'll say, no, thank you. Oh, what do you mean? Don't you want to stand up and tell us what you do and ask for business? No. Right? And it goes to exactly what I just mentioned, okay, about honoring the event. The BNI meeting is for the purpose of the members of that chapter to educate one another and to help each other grow their business. Okay, I would be dishonoring the event if I basically hijacked their agenda of doing exactly that and said, yeah, okay, I'm glad you're all here again, so let me promote me. Does that make sense? Okay, so networking is about helping others as a way of growing the business and always be in a position where we're honoring the event of why they're there. All right, next quiz. This could be an unfair question. You kind of have to be a sports fan to answer this. Who's the greatest basketball player of all times?
Stephen Curry now.
What's that?
Stephen Curry now.
Stephen Curry? Okay.
But
LeBron James.
Michael Jordan, true, yeah.
Michael Jordan? Anyone else?
LeBron James.
LeBron James? Anyone else?
Dennis Rodman.
Didn't even make the top 10.
I'm left behind.
Will Chamberlain.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a legend.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, Will Chamberlain played in the 50s and 60s. In one season, Will Chamberlain had an average points scored per game over 50. That was his average for the season. One man over 50 points for the season. Top 10, but not the best player of all times.
Bill Russell.
Bill Russell.
Yeah.
Okay, so now for those that don't follow basketball, Bill Russell is a champion that played for the Boston Celtics. Okay, also played in the late 50s and 60s. He actually played for a career of 13 years. So why am I saying that Bill Russell is the best basketball player of all times when you compare him against people like Michael Jordan, which, by the way, some experts would say Michael was a better basketball player. But here's my argument why Bill Russell would fall into that category. Even if you don't understand basketball, what's the purpose when you're playing a basketball game?
To win.
Championship.
More points than the other.
Score, to get more balls in the basket than the other team, and if you do that, what happens? You win the game. And if you win a lot of games, what happens?
Win the championship.
You go into the playoffs, and then you get a chance to the championship, and finally, what do you get to do?
Go to Disneyland?
You play for the title. Okay, so when you say that the ultimate objective of playing that game is to win the title. Okay, and no one has won the title more times in the history of basketball, matter of fact, in the history of any sport, than Bill Russell. He's got 11 champion rings. He doesn't even have enough fingers to fit all the championship rings he has at the end. And although Michael Jordan is a phenomenally talented and very entertaining to watch, who's got a tremendous amount of championships, he's only got 6. And Bill Russell has got 11. And I think more impressive than the amount of championships he had is, in my opinion, the way he played. Okay, now, we're probably all young enough to have seen Michael Jordan play, and he was pretty impressive out there. Okay. Bill Russell had a different way of playing. Bill Russell, although he was good at the game, although he scored, although he was very good at defense, although he was good at rebounding, the biggest skill that Bill Russell had is he made other players better. Okay, and it was all about team play. He made Bob Cousy look better. He made Havlicek look better. He made the players around him so much better that nobody can touch the team. He would do things that weren't even happening in the sport at that time. He would go up for a rebound, and before he came down with the ball, it was already being thrown across court to Cousy, who's on a breakaway. Breakaways didn't even exist before he started doing that. When he went up and blocked the ball, it wasn't just a block, it was a block, and it was going to Havlicek. Okay? Completely changed the game, completely demoralized the competition. Even playing up against people like Wilt Chamberlain, it was actually demoralizing. Every time they came at him, it would be like, oh, take that! Whoa, they just scored again. And that was the result. That's what caused 11 championships. Okay? Not only creating his own success, but creating more success around them. Okay. So why would I bring you all here today to give you an education in basketball? Fascinating story, but practically irrelevant? Not really. You see, in networking is a team sport. And inside of BNI, for example, we do recognize people for doing pretty spectacular things. We recognize people for the amount of business they bring. We recognize people for sponsoring members. We recognize people for all types of contributions they make. And they all matter. Okay, we get several people in this room that have sponsored 6, 12, 18 people into BNI. That makes a huge difference. What also makes a difference is people that are showing up to make their team better and helping the team win, okay, with the amount of business that we pass collectively. Okay, so it's not only about your individual accomplishments, not only about how many baskets you can score, but how can we make the networks around us better. That make sense? All right? So I just want you to kind of keep that in mind. Is there opportunities where we can make our team and our network more successful, okay, beyond just our own personal contributions? All right, so let's talk about networking. When you think about networking, first thing I want to ask is, how does it make you feel? Does anybody go to mixers or large networking events? Okay. Does anybody go to them and really doesn't like to go to them? Okay. Do you find it a little uncomfortable? A lot of best thing you do is get out of there? Okay. And how many people go to those things and they just love them? Okay. This is my element. I just love to have that. So I'm going to tell you something about that. Both are fine. Love them or hate them, it doesn't matter. And I can tell you why that exists to a certain extent as well. The reality with networking is, it doesn't have to exist only in that environment. It doesn't have to be a dozen, 2 dozen, 100 people, 200 people at an event to network. Okay, so when you're setting up your networking strategies, it's okay to be doing those. It's okay to be in a more intimate setting, like, for example, like a BNI meeting, which may look something like this. And it's really okay to do your networking one-to-one. As a matter of fact, what I'd like to show you today is, it's only when you get down to that level of intimacy do you really make a difference. Do you really make a difference, not only building your own business, but helping somebody else? Okay? How many people have heard of VCP? Okay, who can tell me what VCP means?
Visibility, credibility, profitability.
Visibility, credibility, profitability. Most people think of that in terms of getting business. Okay? It's actually a measurement of the referral relationship, not the commercial relationship. Okay? Just because I do business with Mark, and Mark is helpful to me, for example, finding the space for me. Okay? Just because I do business with him doesn't put us in a profitable relationship. Commercially it does, okay, but a profitable referral relationship would be as I'm referring him and he's referring me on a regular basis. Okay, so it's important when we talk about VCP, and the way we talk about it in my book, The World's Best Known Marketing Secret, that we're talking about a measurement of a referral relationship. Okay, so I'm going to just go through quickly what that looks like. Visibility, you're in visibility with a referral relationship when they know who you are and you know who they are. Now, I'm going to put just a little caveat, what I mean by you know who they are and they know who you are. I know this gentleman is Daniel Canales. Do you know what my name is? What's my name?
Mike Benton.
Okay, I know he sells health insurance. Do you know what I do?
Yeah.
What do I do?
You help small business owners refer deals to grow their business.
Good. We're in a visible relationship. Okay? Now, if, say for example, I just met Daniel, and we had a small conversation, and then tomorrow he saw me at Starbucks, and he looked over, oh, that's what's his name? I met him yesterday. Would we be in visibility? Okay? If I knew that was Daniel Canales, but he didn't know who I was, would we be in visibility?
No.
No. Okay? So it sounds like a very easy thing to do, but the reality is, more times than not, even that simple test of a first name, a last name, and what they do, okay, doesn't make the grade. Okay? So that's a visible relationship. A credible relationship is you enter this phase when you perceive each other as to be reliable, worthy of confidence, and at this point, typically we see referrals starting to pass. Okay, I trust putting my reputation on the line by recommending you. And of course, the holy grail of them would be profitability, and that's when we both consistently and proactively refer each other back and forth. By the way, a lot of people think of profitability as you bought from me once or you referred me once, we must have a profitable relationship. This is actually a very difficult stage to get to. Okay, and when you have somebody that's proactively and consistently referring you, you don't need a whole lot of them to have a very abundant pipeline of referrals coming in. All right, so given those definitions, I'd like you to think about networking. When we go to the holiday mixer, when we go to networking events, and there's 100 people in the room, and we're going around there and we're handing out business cards and introducing ourselves and giving some obnoxious elevator pitch, what stage of the relationship of networking are we doing? Okay. Yeah, I would say even pre-visibility, visibility. Okay, or invisibility, visibility, invisibility. You may not even remember some of these people when you walk away from them. That make sense? Okay, or you walk away and you find you're getting spammed because you gave them your business card the next day. Okay, it's not even invisibility networking, it's irritability networking. Okay, and would you say that there is a sense of necessity to start somewhere, so starting with visibility would be a good place? Okay. Now, what I want to suggest with this level of networking is one of the nice things about this level is it can be done in mass. okay? You can get visible to a lot of people, and you can do a lot. For example, showing up at your BNI meeting and just being present at the front door, greeting the members that are coming in, any of the guests, makes you more visible. Would you agree? And I can do that, and I can impact 30, 40, 50 people in one meeting. Okay? During your meeting, for example, when people are doing their weekly presentations, by actively listening and looking them in the eye and writing notes about what they're looking for, okay, will actually create visibility for you. That's a strange one for a lot of people. I did this exercise at a chapter a couple of years ago, and I asked them, because I was showing them visibility techniques, and I said, did anybody notice me noticing them doing their presentation? And half the room raised their hand. I noticed you. He was like, what did you notice? He goes, like, you were like really paying attention to me. Okay, you were like really listening. It looked like you were writing something down. What was it? Okay, now you think about that. Who had the stage?
I did.
They did. And who was noticed?
You.
I was. Okay? Simply by being attentive to what they were doing. Okay? Now, I mentioned earlier that I think a lot of networking can be better executed when it's done more intimately, and that's the one-to-one networking. Because that's when you start moving from that visibility stage into credibility and profitability. Although some credibility can be done in mass, for example, if you show up and, let's say you're giving a presentation, and at the end of the presentation you did a very good job, there are some people that might move you from their visibility relationship into credibility. Would you agree? But when you really want to get into solid credibility, advanced credibility, and certain profitability, okay, that's going to take a different level of intimacy. That's going to take the one-to-one conversations. Are you with me so far? Because we're going to be playing this game in a little while, so I hope you do. So here's one of the biggest traps that I watch people, when they do a lot of business networking and they get frustrated with doing a lot of business networking, one of the reasons that they do is because they spend way too much time in the pre-visibility, visibility phase. And they actually invest this appropriate amount of time in that phase of relationships as opposed to the deeper relationships. All right, now I'm going to show you something. If you were to that's us, by the way. If you had a database, all your contacts, and you were to put them in categories of visibility, credibility, and profitability. Okay? You have all of your contacts, and you got them in visibility, credibility, and profitability in terms of your referral network. Okay? Where would you start first with investing in people?
Profitability.
Profitability? See, what most people do is they start here. Oh, I need to get more business, or I need to get more visible with people, and then move those people into credibility and profitability. And when you understand how this actually works, you have to be able to speak Hebrew.
Boy, buddy.
You got to go right to left. So, not everybody does, but everybody should have a marketing budget. And if you're doing relationship marketing, that marketing budget is also going to include time. Matter of fact, it's going to be heavy on time, light on capital, as opposed to traditional marketing, which is light on time and heavy on capital. All right? So you should have a time budget. Now, when you start allocating that time and planning who you're going to be meeting with and what you're going to be doing, you should be first investing into your highest relationships, and then further down the road. And yes, you'll always be doing some visibility networking. Okay. All right. So I'm going to confuse you for a second if you don't follow this completely. Okay. The actual key to doing visibility network, true value in doing this, is not so much to be moving them this way, although you hope that that will happen with some. The actual value of doing the visibility networking is because by making those contacts, it gives you opportunity to feed these relationships. Did everybody follow that?
Yes.
So the true value in doing this is, yes, you hope to make some contacts that become long-lasting relationships. You are hoping for that, but the true value here is, by making these contacts, that you can feed these relationships. How are we doing so far? So what do you think one of the best formats that I see for networking is? One-to-ones. Okay, one-to-ones. Another truth or delusion. Truth or delusion, the larger the network, the more business that will get passed. How many think that's true? How many think that's a delusion? Okay, for those that think it's a delusion, why would it be a delusion?
Depends what you call network. I mean, networking could be a list of names, or it could be a quality deep relationship. So there's quality and quantity.
Okay, so I'm gonna redefine that network as a group, whether it's a chamber group or a BNI group. Okay, so why would a larger network be a delusion in terms of getting more business?
Less intimacy.
Less intimacy.
Just because there's more people doesn't mean you're reaching any of them.
Right? Right. It's a very interesting truth or delusion. Now, that original truth or delusion in the first edition, okay, was almost 10 years ago. Okay, and then, and even today, when I ask BNI people, the majority still say that that's a delusion. And that couldn't be any further from the truth. It is absolutely true. The larger the network, the more business. Okay, as a matter of fact, any study, and every study that's ever been done, okay, supports the fact that the larger the network, the more business it passes. Now, there's a few things I want to really make you understand about that dynamics. All right? The rest of the chapter actually goes on to say, even a blind squirrel can find a nut if you fill the room with enough nuts. Right. Now, we're not saying that people in BNI are nuts, but you get the point that the more people in the room. Now, you said the larger the group makes less intimacy. Okay? And a lot of times, particularly in BNI chapters, they actually, by that mindset, by that thinking, okay, they actually hold their own success back. We don't want to get too big, because then it won't be intimate. We don't want to get too big, because then we won't have the connection. See, the thought process tells you the bigger it gets, the more disconnected I get. Okay? And what really happens in bigger networks is just the opposite. Okay? People have more opportunities to get deeper with people. And it doesn't mean you get deeper with everybody, okay? But call it your team. Okay? You have a bigger opportunity to get deeper with the people on your team. Okay, I'll use a couple examples. Let's say, for example, I've got this small network of mine, and there's 12 of us. That means, at best, I got the opportunity to get connected with 12 people. Now, part of that connection may be our contact sphere. Okay, complementary, non-competing professions. Okay, Brooke sells real estate, I sell mortgages. Okay, there's a contact sphere relationship. I have an opportunity. You with me? Okay, but now, what happens when I expand that to, instead of a dozen, now I got 3 dozen? Do I have more people that I have an opportunity to get connected to? That could be part of my contact sphere. That's only, by the way, one phase of it, contact spheres. Here's a second opportunity phase to it. Likability. There are people that I just connect with. Okay, we're wired the same way. We have the same wacky thoughts. We may do some of the same wacky activities. And we just seem to connect. And so the larger the network gets, the larger the opportunity to have that. So it's just the opposite of what most people think is, as the group gets too big, okay, there's less opportunity to be intimate. Actually, what happens is just the opposite. More people get more intimate with more people. Okay, and the technical term there is called clusters. Okay, more opportunity for cluster relationships because there's more relationship opportunities. through the studies that we've done inside of BNI, of course, it almost looks like it's a formula. You know, you graph the size of the chapter and the amount of business, and as the chapter grows, the business goes up exponentially. You don't double the size of the group and double the referrals and double the business. No, you double the size of the group and you triple the amount of business. Okay? So what's causing that? More people with deeper relationships. Okay? Because more people gives them more opportunity to connect to deeper relationships, whether by professions, contact spheres, or simple likability. We good so far? All right, so how about some tools on how to get better connected in our one-to-one networking? All right, so a little feedback from you guys. How many people religiously do one-to-one meetings on a weekly basis? Okay. How many think they do it maybe once a month? Okay. How many that don't do them at all think they're a waste of time? By the way, you wouldn't be wrong. One-to-ones can be a waste of time. But the way I'm going to show you today, they can also be the most powerful networking that you do all week. Okay, is your one-to-one networking. All right? So let's start with this. What's the purpose of a one-to-one?
To get to know somebody. Deep relationship.
Get to know someone? That's nice. Now we've got visibility.
To create a strategy to grow each other's business through referrals?
Okay, so now you can use it as a strategy meeting. Okay, that's certainly useful. Yeah.
To see if you really connect.
To see if you like them. I like that one. Anybody ever show up to a one-to-one just to realize they got reeled into a prospecting opportunity? Anybody want to make sure that never happens again?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to encourage you to take notes on this one we're going to talk about next. The first thing I'm going to recommend is in doing the one-to-one networking, the one-to-one marketing is be selective. If right now you were to put a name down on your paper of who you want to be doing your next one-to-one with, who would it be? Write their name down. Okay, who would like to share their person? Yes. You got Susan on your list. And why did you put Susan on your list?
Susan's our chapter president, and she's got great ideas. And I'd like to talk with her a little bit about how we can grow our chapter and how we can also work together in a different way.
Okay, good. Good. Who else has got someone on the list? Brooke.
I have Ray Giampoli, who are my mortgage person, and it's time for us to set our goals for next year for
Okay.
housing business.
All right, so obviously this is somebody in your contact sphere. Okay, you and Ray have been working together for a while. What level of referral relationship are you in? Visibility, credibility, and profitability?
Profitability.
You're in a profitability relationship. Okay, did it make sense that Brooke would invest first in her strongest relationship? Okay, who else did the same thing? You had the deepest relationship first. Who put somebody on the list that they hardly know? Okay, can you see we may be better placed by better investing? Can you see that? Okay, so making good selections mean we invest into our best relationships first. Okay, so that's going to be lesson number one. Lesson number two is have a budget. I found one of the biggest reasons why people don't do one-to-ones is they don't have time. And the reality is every one of us in this room has the exact same amount of time. It's just some of us in the room here have a better control on our time. Make sense? All right? So if you're going to be doing relationship marketing, there has to be some budget of time that you're going to set aside to do this. Now, I've had several authors and several trainers give what I consider overly general ideas of what people should do in terms of their budgets. I've seen people say out there, like, you should be spending, 6 to 8 hours a week, or numbers like that, I don't think those general numbers apply to all businesses. Okay, I think that budget is going to depend on your industry and the way your business is structured. Danielle, for example, does graphic design. Okay, she makes money when she's doing graphic design. That make sense? All right, so that would be what I consider a billable type of business or industry. No different than a CPA or an attorney. Okay, they got to produce X amount of billable hours or there's no business. Okay, in those cases, the amount of marketing budget is going to be significantly restricted based on the amount of billable hours they need to produce. Okay, many times when I'm working with those types of professionals, I make a recommendation about 20% of your time should be invested in business development. Okay, that business development could be networking, could be prospecting, could be sales consults, but in billable type of industry, a 20% budget is adequate to build your business. Not sustain it, to build it. Okay, so if Danielle's working 50 hours a week, 40 of it was billable, 10 hours in business development, she'd have a profitable business, correct? Okay. Now, there are other industries where, you know what, it's not quite this way, but it almost feels like it's always marketing and development. Okay, real estate would fall into that category. Okay, mortgage brokers would fall into that category. Okay, because the actual work, if you would, that gets done is very small compared to the amount of investment of marketing and sales that needs to be done. Okay, so when I say to set a budget, I'm not going to give you a fixed number, but somewhere in there has to be a number. The one number I am pretty comfortable telling most people is if you're investing less than 5%, less than 5 hours a week in your relationship marketing or business development, if you're investing less than 5 hours, you better have a healthy money budget for advertising. So there's going to be a lot more vehicles opened up there in terms of your marketing. Print, television, radio, online, all of that has to be pretty hefty to operate in less than 5 hours. So now, just about everyone here told me they were involved in BNI or starting a BNI chapter. What do you think the typical investment is to participate just in BNI?
$1,200 a year?
Time-wise per week.
Oh, time-wise just BNI for the meeting? Oh, yeah, about 2 hours on a meeting.
And
Like
then
4 hours.
one to make it 3 hours, 5 hours.
Probably around 5 hours.
Where do you spend the time?
Meeting, one-to-one, preparing for the meeting, through the presentation,
Training.
Trainings. Okay, yeah, between trainings, one-to-ones, meeting, preparing for the meeting, and when I think about preparing for the meeting, we're out there recruiting referrals for people. Well, that takes time. You can't put that, if it's not in your calendar, it's not going to get done. Okay, we call that the henny penny referral generation. Waiting for something to fall out of the sky. I got one for you. Okay, you want to bring visitors to it, there has to be a budget of time to recruit visitors. Okay. Okay, so if you have a budget, I'd like you to write it down. If you don't have a budget, I'd like you to make a guess how much you think you'd like to be investing in your business development on a weekly basis.
Just for BNI?
Nope, total. Total.
Time or money or both?
Time. Yeah, we're working strictly on the time budget right now.
Would you count support chapters as time?
What's that?
Would you count support chapters as time?
Oh, of course. Absolutely. That's networking time. That's business development time. Mark Cooper. Would I be exaggerating if I said that Mark probably spends 20 to 25 hours a week doing business development?
No.
And a lot of the stuff that you do, you're probably not even thinking is business development. But it's relationship building activities, it's lunches, it's helping people. Would I be understating?
I'd say 25 is probably about right.
Yeah.
I'd say 25.
And by the way, I think that's a good healthy I think that's a good healthy budget for somebody doing commercial real estate. Okay, because he's not building the properties. He's not flipping the properties. Okay, he's in the business of connecting owners with people that need it, either to buy or to lease. Okay, he's in the connection business.
I think it's that, and I have people that do the paperwork, so that's all I do is business development, really.
Okay. Now that you have that number in front of you, now what you start doing is you start scheduling in who am I doing, what am I doing with who? That's the purpose of this workshop today. What am I doing with who? We talked a little bit about the who from the contact sphere point of view and from the relationship point of view. So let's say, for example, you know that your BNI meeting, just going there and showing up and being part of the meeting is going to be 2 hours of that budget. Okay, so you pretty much scheduled that's going to happen every week. Okay, and then the next thing you want to do is say, okay, so who are the people I want to do one-to-ones with? Okay, Mickey, I think you told me on your plan right now, okay, very busy running his business, very busy involved in BNI and his director role. Okay, his budget to one-to-one is 6 a week. Okay, do you feel it?
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay, 6 a week, that's his budget. And from what he told me about an entire plan, that's an appropriate amount for him. That's an appropriate amount for his business. Where else is it going to get used?
Other networking activities,
Such as?
chamber, other networking groups, that type of thing.
So for those that are coming from this area right here, if you want to know where I'll be showing up, I show up at Go Local. Okay, one of the things we have inside of Go Local is a monthly get-together called Referral Local. And we get together at these local restaurants, and they change them around from Petaluma to Santa Rosa and stuff. And we get together and we talk to business owners that are doing like us, trying to grow their business in the Sonoma County area. I'm also a member of the Chamber of Commerce. Now, why would I have to be a member of the Chamber of Commerce when I've got the network of BNI around me?
Because you're trying to get to the community.
New faces, be visible. New faces to refer to BNI to.
You need to diversify. You need contacts outside of just BNI. And I think that's one of the pitfalls I find. Too many times people are frustrated that they're not getting enough out of BNI because they're just relying on BNI. Okay? It's only when you start connecting those other networks that you actually can get even more value out of BNI. Okay? The 1-2 punch here is the one-to-one networking we're talking about today and diversifying that network. Okay? Getting connected with other networks. Right? So if anybody's interested in coming to any of those networks with me, I'd be happy to get you invited so we can do some networking together. I don't like to network alone. Okay, truth be told, I don't like networking in general. In the traditional sense, okay, of walking into a group of people that I don't know and don't know me and go around there and introduce myself. I don't like playing that game. You know why? Because I'm an introvert. Okay? The chances are, if that's something that you do not find that energizes you, you're probably an introvert. Okay? And you may even be like me, where you're a situational extrovert, where you can play the game for a certain amount of time. Okay? I can say hello to you when you came in today, I can engage with you, I can remember you, and I can enjoy that, and when I get home, I'm tired. Okay? And then you got other people that are just extroverts. You got the Daniels, you got the Mickeys. They get into a room like this and they get energized. This is how they energize themselves. And meeting new people and connecting with people is an energizing experience. Okay? Now, just because I'm an introvert and a situational extrovert doesn't prevent me from having to be able to work in that environment. Okay? I won't be the person that'll jump from person to person to person to person and bounce out a bunch of business cards and play that game. Okay, but I will go to those events with people I know. I will make sure that I connect when I get to those places with the people I know. Okay, and then through those interactions, get to know another person or two, not 20 or 30. It's just a different approach. You with me? Who's going to confess to being an introvert? It was really, no, keep your hands up, keep your hands up. I mean, so some of you, a number of you, okay, are highly participating in BNI and have been for quite a while, okay, and yet, by character, we're introverts. That's interesting. So, by the way, it's also a truth or delusion. Truth or delusion, to be an effective networker, you have to be a very extroverted, gregarious personality, okay, and that, of course, is a delusion. Because the strengths of an extrovert could also be the things that sometimes hold them back.
Yeah.
How so, Daniel?
Well, I forced myself not to meet as many people.
You have to force yourself not to, because you really want to go on to the next person.
It's like I have to calm myself down and be a little more focused and see how I can work with someone.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually in the book where I reference introverts because they go slow, because they're more caring and listening, and they go deep in the relationship. They actually can produce better results for other people because they take the time to get to know the people. And what are they doing? They're moving the BCP, providing you don't become a cave dweller. Okay, and only retreat to your cave. Retreating to the cave is a great place to re-energize. Right? In my home, I have a cave. And my cave has a big screen. Okay, and that's where I go, and that's where I energize. Okay, I also have a cave that has 2 wheels. When I go out cycling, that's actually a great introverted thing to do. I'm in my own head, I'm in my own world, I'm usually riding by myself. And I'm just out there for a couple of hours in my introverted world, recharging. Even though I'm dumping all of my energy on the ground, I'm actually recharging mentally. So that I can show up at the next networking event and work it for a couple of hours and get totally mentally exhausted. All right, so let's talk about this one-to-one. Now the one-to-one networking, which is the beauty part there is it works for both extroverts and introverts. Okay, you like doing one-to-ones? You enjoy that interaction with people. Brooke, as an introvert, do you like doing one-to-ones?
Yeah, I'm good.
With the right people?
With the right people, yes.
In the right way. All right, so the one thing about the moving relationships, this is not an introvert-extrovert type of exercise. Okay, they both work. So here's some things I'd like you to consider. And now that you've budgeted the time, you identify the people you want to go with, now we need to decide what type of strategy or what type of an agenda do we want to use in our one-to-ones. Everyone with me?
Mm-hmm.
Now, even though I can read Hebrew, actually I can't, I'm actually going to take it this way first, just to kind of explain what we do in an early relationship, an established relationship, and a highly profitable referral relationship. Okay? In a pre-visibility or visibility relationship, I'm going to suggest that your objective should simply start with, I'm going to use a term that somebody used here, are we compatible? Okay? Or do we connect? Is it possible for it to be no?
Sure.
Okay. Was it a good use of your time?
Yeah.
Now you know. I also suggest on those early relationship one-to-ones that you clearly state your agenda and intention. Why is that so important?
It establishes credibility when achieved.
Could establish credibility.
Little structures. It can gain agreement too from that other person to be focused on that intention, possibly.
Yes, all of that. Okay, and it prevents the agenda from getting hijacked.
Keeps you on track.
Okay, prevents the agenda. So here's what I consider a waste of my time. Okay, and by the way, I only blame myself when it happens. Okay, I only blame myself. Hey, Mike, I'd really love to do a one-to-one with you. Are you available for a one-to-one? Sure, let's set up a time, and we schedule a time, and we get there, and the agenda is about them pitching me about why I should be using their printing service. Did I really just schedule my time to go shopping? It's something I don't need. Okay, and all I can do is stand here and blame myself. Why didn't you confirm the agenda? Why didn't you confirm the purpose of the meeting? Now, I am getting far better than I used to be, and I find I'm much less a victim to those type of hijackings. Okay, and I will say, when those hijackings do occur, I will interrupt the meeting and I'll say, I'm sorry, it sounds like you're looking for me to do business with you as a printer. That's not why I came to the meeting. As a matter of fact, I have a long-established relationship with my printer, so what else can we talk about? Okay? I think Jen had a question?
I was going to ask what kind of language you use via email when people are asking to have one-to-ones or meetings with you, so you don't come off sounding a little, I don't know, bratty.
Yeah. Well, I'll start with this. When we're doing one-to-one network, remember I said we're going to be getting more intimate? Okay? I wouldn't have the conversation by email.
For a preliminary one-to-one?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it by email, okay? I would do it on the phone or face-to-face. Okay? Now, in terms of setting a time or, for details like that, yes, emails are fine, text messages are fine. That's okay for the detail. Okay, but in terms of me letting them know, I'd like to meet, I'd like to have an intention, I'd like to have a desired outcome for you and for me. Okay, if I did that by email, it's going to sound cold, prickly, and demanding. It doesn't matter how many smiley faces I put on it, change my font to lavender, it's still like, who is this guy? What do I have to fill out an application to do a one-to-one with you? So I would highly recommend, again, you're trying to move it more intimate, okay, pick up the phone. Does that help?
Kind of. To be honest, I'm asking like nice ways to not have as many one-to-ones with people that you don't see being, I don't know how to say this nicely, a productive use of time.
Good. So, all right, so I'm gonna just take a back step and address that, because I think if you left here with just that, today's worth your time. Okay? How to not offend people and not waste your time at the same time.
Yes.
Okay? Here's how you do it. Ready? Go back to your notes. Okay, what did I ask you to do? Have a budget. Okay, so Mickey's budget is 6. Okay? And then what Mickey does is he proactively fills those slots each week. Okay? So he doesn't leave it open to anybody filling into his slots. Okay, so in many cases, when they're trying to do those, they're trying to get your time, first of all, it's not available, and he can simply say, he goes, you're probably not aware of this, but with the work I do in Referral Institute, we're so deliberate about spending our time marketing, and we're so deliberate that we schedule this. And the way my marketing plans right now is, I'm scheduled out for 4 weeks. Okay, and then what I try to do is get with, first of all, my most developed referral sources first, okay, and then move further down the line into the newer relationships. You with me so far? Okay. And then I would also come back, but I don't think that would prevent us from getting to know each other in the meantime. Okay, what I'm actually doing is giving them an alternative to having my time as a one-to-one. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of, you're all involved with BNI, so here's one that everyone here could use. So what do you think next week before our meeting, we just get here maybe 15 minutes early, okay? We can just start to get to know each other with that time there, and then when we start the open networking, maybe we can even include some more people into our conversation. But we can have that time before the meeting to talk. Because every BNI meeting has the open networking time. Okay, so invest in using that time with the people that want to spend time with you. This could be a little bit cruel, but I've done this also. Yeah, I'd really like to get to know you better. Really? You think I want to budget time out of my day so you get to know me better? You really want to get to know me? You really want to? I love cycling, why don't you come riding with me?
You've done that.
Yeah. All right, so here's an alternative, here's another alternative we use, and it may not work in your business, but a lot of people like to know, I want to get to know you, I'd like to learn more about what you do. It says, listen, every month I host a Referral Success 101. Why don't you be my guest? Please come early so that we can talk, and I'll be the last person when we leave, okay? But I think you sitting and seeing what I do would be a great way of you understanding better what I do. Okay, so invite them to things that you're already doing without having the budget at time. Okay, so there's several suggestions I would use. Design help. Okay, we don't have to sound like we're elitist, that we won't meet with everybody. At the same time, just because they ask doesn't oblige us to have to invest our time if we don't feel it to be worthwhile. Yes.
I have one question. If you propose an agenda or an intention to somebody, doesn't that also give you and them the opportunity to see if, well, maybe this isn't what we should be wasting our time doing anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe the other person will feel like you're stuffy or whatever, and they'll let you know that.
Mm-hmm.
So then you just gracefully bow out of that?
Mm-hmm.
It's a win.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, some people, their intention of one-to-one is they just want to mark on the palm tree floor. All right? Not a good use of your time. All right? So proactively go out there and set your one-to-ones with the people that are most important for you. Okay, our relationship concept. So the first one-to-one is to see if you like. I would say that the first one-to-one is to see if you're going to have another one.
First date.
Like the first date, yeah.
Okay. More advanced relationships here should be done repeatedly. Okay, it wouldn't be unusual for Mickey's 6 a week for one of them to maybe include the same person every week. That would not be unusual. It's going to be a more advanced relationship, and it's going to have a more direct agenda. Who do I need to connect you with? What strategy are we going to use? Okay, so the early relationship is just to see if we're going to do another one. I can't tell you how many times I've heard this one. I don't do one-to-ones anymore because I've done a one-to-one with everybody in the chapter. And some of those were 4 years ago. One-to-ones are not done once, unless you're not going to do one again with them. Yes?
So when you schedule your first one-to-one with someone, you say if you connect.
Yeah, I like to see if we're compatible and if we can help each other. That's all. Does anybody think that's being mean? Anybody think that's not being generous?
No, it's just that if you have it and you don't connect, then you're not compatible.
What if the other person thinks you didn't connect?
Okay. So again, we talk about these early relationships. If they would like something to happen out of the relationship, okay, and you're not comfortable doing anything, okay, is it important to communicate that level of relationship? Here's the challenge. You have an understanding or a language right now that most of the people you sit down and talk with won't have. That's why you'll always hear me repeatedly say, when you come to events like this, when you come to trainings, it's like a couples class. It doesn't work when you come alone. You have to come with your referral sources. You have to come with your partners. You have to come with the people you're trying to develop these relationships with. Okay, that's what makes it work. Okay, not just being the smartest one sitting at a table. Okay, so we can have a conversation and say, so Mariska, I got to ask you. I know we've been doing a lot of things. We socialize together. You know, I think your boyfriend's a great guy. You know, but Where do you think we are? I mean, do you think we're in visibility, credibility? You know, I know I've been going that long. Where would you consider this in the referral relationship? I think we're in the visibility, early credibility. Great. Okay, now we know. What can we do to further that along? What else? Okay. We good? All right. So I'm going to give you another tool for your one-to-ones, and it's a tool that most of you have probably heard of before or are using, and it's called the G.A.I.N.S profile. Anybody ever hear of the G.A.I.N.S profile? Okay, tell me what the G.A.I.N.S profile is.
Accomplishments, interests, networks.
Goals, accomplishments, interests, networks, skills. Great. So I got an inventory of G.A.I.N.S. So what? So most of you probably know on BNI you can put your G.A.I.N.S profile into your profile, so people can see what your G.A.I.N.S profile is. And again, very interesting. So what? What does it do for you?
It establishes what you want to get and how you work.
Okay, you can establish what you want to get and how you work. Okay, good.
It's a way to connect to other people and connect to referrals. So if I knew someone was a cyclist and I was trying to refer them to Referral Institute and to you, I would talk about you being a cyclist, because I know
Good.
that about
So
you.
sometimes there's information in there about how to connect.
Yeah.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you through each of these, and I'm going to show you the information or how this benefits you in not only developing the relationship, but also developing better referral strategies. Okay. So the first one is goals. So if we had an agreed meeting that is going to be based on a G.A.I.N.S exchange, okay? So let's say, for example, we set that as agenda. I'd like to do a G.A.I.N.S exchange. Okay. What I've seen some people do is they fill out their G.A.I.N.S report. I've actually had people ask me this. Mike, yeah, I'd love to do a one-to-one with you. Can you send me your G.A.I.N.S profile? And they're surprised when I tell them no, because obviously I believe in the G.A.I.N.S profile. Well, why don't you send me your G.A.I.N.S profile? And I say, no, I don't do it that way. Well, what do you mean? That's the way it's supposed to be done. I said, not for me. And I'll tell you the challenge I have with the G.A.I.N.S exchange. It turns a relational process, the G.A.I.N.S exchange is supposed to be a relational process, into a transactional process. Or in the Referral Institute, we refer to it as the 32-point Jiffy Lube inspection. Goal, got it. Goal, got it. Accomplishment, got it. Tell me that interest again, got it. Okay? And if we do the checklist and we consider we got it, and that's what happens when people exchange information only. Okay? Either prior to a meeting or at the meeting where they're providing it like that. I think the best value to a G.A.I.N.S exchange is to know your own. To start with that. Okay, so when you're willing to share that G.A.I.N.S exchange and the person's asking you about these different aspects, okay, you've already worked it out. You've already got it documented so that you can recall it. You with me so far? Okay, so my recommendation in the G.A.I.N.S exchange is that you have the information, but then when you meet with the person, you do it in a form of discovery. Okay? I'm going to teach you each of the 5 parts of the G.A.I.N.S exchange and where the value is. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to more effectively implement it when you're in those one-to-ones. Okay? So the first one, of course, is the goals. Okay, where's the value in the goals? The goals describes for you and helps you figure out how you can help them. Okay, knowing their goals allows you, equips you in knowing how you can help them. Knowing their achievements equips you with the ammunition on how you could build their credibility. It may not seem relative to the conversation, but you know, you might be surprised to know that Danielle Foster, the graphic designer we're talking about, has got a black belt. Uh-oh. Okay? Would a credential like that, an achievement like that, give credibility to a person? Why? She's not kicking ass when she's doing graphic design. Why would that give her credibility? Why would I be giving her credibility by stating the fact that she's got a black belt?
Achievement.
She's dedicated, quality, discipline.
Dedication, mastery, commitment, tenacity, follow through. Okay, so sharing accomplishments, even if it's not directly related to industry, even if, you know, I can say that, you know, Mark's in the top 10 in the industry in this market. That's a great achievement. But I can also talk about things he's done that aren't even necessarily related to selling commercial properties. Okay? Okay, so that's what we use our achievements. Interest and passion. I look at that as the open door or open window to building rapport. Okay, that's when you find out what really drives people. Okay, so interest and passion is an opportunity to form rapport. Okay? One of Mickey's passion is woodworking. And now there's a couple of things I can do with that. First of all, I can connect him with other people that have that similar passion. Okay? Or I can open up that door or window when I can talk about what's the project you're working on right now.
Yours and Don's Christmas present?
You're running out of time.
I am.
You know, what's the latest tool that you picked up? What's the one that's on your dream list?
A bandsaw. I need a big bandsaw.
A workshop.
Yes.
Okay. By the way, was anyone watching Mickey when I opened up that conversation? Did you notice anything about his physical being? And I wish we had the camera facing Mickey and not me when he was doing that, because he completely lit up. It's what drives his spirit. Okay, so that's what our interest and passion says. And then, of course, we have our networks. Our networks shows how we can connect other people and how they can connect us. And the networks can be formal networks and non-formal networks. I have a network of cyclists. It's not a formal network, but I have a network of cyclists that I know and that we kind of work in the same community. And that might be of value to some people. Okay? I have a network of consultants in Referral Institute around the world. Okay, that may be of value to somebody, either for business or simply because they're traveling to a certain area. Hey, I'm going to Paris, what do I do? Let's go ask Terry. Going to Dubai, what do I do? Phil and Cordelia, they'll be here in a couple of weeks. Let's find out. Okay? So the networks is how we can help and connect each other to other people on networks. And then, of course, skills. And skills is an interesting one because we obviously have a skill in what we do, and then it's all those other skills. And the things that we're good at beyond just our profession. Okay? And when we find out those skills, it gives us another opportunity of how we can help each other. Some people, along with what they do, they're great negotiators. Like if you hate the car buying experience, I don't like the car buying experience, but you want to get a good car, you want to get a good deal, there are people in your network that can do it for you, and they love it. You know, like there's different things like that my wife will do just for sport, just because she likes it.
I have a question, Mike. It goes back to previously when you were talking about time budget. If you have someone for a G.A.I.N.S exchange thing, can you decide not to have a one-to-one? I know it could, but I mean, if it's not going to be proper use of your time, how do we learn how to value our time budget more? In other words, if I have, say, 2 one-to-ones a week, and I want them to be really quality, where do I start with honoring my own time budget?
So I'd start with who you select. You've got a budget. I would start with who you select. Okay, and you're going to start with your better relationships. What I'm going to show you with the G.A.I.N.S quote, this may sound kind of strange, but I'm going to tell you, if you do what I'm going to show you with this G.A.I.N.S exchange and pull this kind of information out, even with an established relationship, you're going to get a lot of value out of this. You have a question?
I have a question from someone at home. Are the goals on the G.A.I.N.S report, are they short-term or long-term goals?
Both.
Oh, that's what I thought.
Both. Yep. And I want to add to that, both business and personal. Okay, for those that have known me for a few years, you know that I was very out there letting people know that I had a goal of competing in the Lego Trail 100. And I described what that goal looked like. Okay, and I got a tremendous amount of support, okay, in attaining that goal, leading up to it. And even afterwards, people checking in with me. It creates a little bit of pressure. That, I had people that were depending on me. It's a bike race. But you had that sense of, people rooting for you and putting it out there. So business and personal. Okay, so back to your question. You're selecting the individuals. Okay, you like to do a G.A.I.N.S exchange. Now I want to show you why I think it's so important that you just don't do a information dump. Here's my G.A.I.N.S. I find that a lot of times when people information dump like that, they make assumptions based on what they see. And what I want to ask you to do is when you're doing a G.A.I.N.S exchange, okay, look for what's going on behind the answer. Okay, use this exchange to start the conversation and then go one level deeper. Don't go to the next question. Go one level deeper. And some of the questions to go one level deeper is like, why is that so important to you? How did you get involved in that? You were a professional opera singer. What led you to that profession? Okay, the value of the G.A.I.N.S is actually going deeper. Right? And so this is what you're going to start experiencing when you're doing these G.A.I.N.S exchanges. And by the way, we're going to do a G.A.I.N.S exchange right here today. You're going to peer up and actually go through this exercise. Okay? What you're going to find with the G.A.I.N.S exchange is you can't do the 32-point inspection in one meeting. And guess what? It's okay. As a matter of fact, it'll be even better than what you're currently doing as far as checking off the marks. Does anybody not understand behavioral styles as they teach it in a referral institute? Go-getters, promoters, nurturers, examiners. Anyone understand that one? You may not? Okay. So there's a behavioral style we call examiners. These are slower-paced people. They're very deliberate in their decision-making, and they're very task-oriented. Okay, the engineer mind, if you would. Those would be examiners. Do we have any examiners here? Okay, so this is going to freak you out. Okay, when you do a G.A.I.N.S exchange, you don't have to go in order. As a matter of fact, they don't necessarily recommend going in order. Okay. So many times when I'm doing a G.A.I.N.S exchange with somebody, I like starting with interest. Okay. So besides what you do, what do you love to do when you're not doing what you do?
I live right here.
Horses. I knew that. Okay, did you see that one? All right, so you love. So, do you have a horse?
You've got 12.
How many?
12.
12. All right, so can you see where this one-to-one's going to go? If I want to move this relationship, would you think that would be a good place to stay?
Yeah.
It's not only a good place to start, it's a good place to stay. So I just started asking about what was the first time experience you had with horses? What was your favorite horse? What do you love most about having horses now? I'm just going deeper. This is the way you make a G.A.I.N.S exchange powerful. Okay? It's not the Jiffy Lube. Okay? It's So I want to use the gains exchange to accomplish those 5 things that we can get out of the gains, okay? And I want to use it as a relationship-moving activity. Okay, I'll give you one last suggestion that I also make with one-to-ones, is I don't make it a ping-pong match. Don't make it a ping-pong match means, okay, you gave me your goal, let me give you my goal. And you gave me your interest, because what can happen is I will start thinking about what I want to say rather than listening to what she's saying and be able to ask the question beneath the question. Are you with me? How are we doing with this? Good? All right. Give you a minute to ask me any questions you like. Good. All right, next. All right. I hope one thing that I am accomplished today is really showing you the importance of networking and doing it intimately. Where one-to-one networking is and should be your most productive networking. Okay? And yes, we have to do the other networking, and yes, meeting in groups gives us the opportunity to connect with more people one-to-one, but one-to-one networking is the most powerful tool. Now, in a moment, what we're going to do is we're going to have you pair up. Okay, we're going to have you pair up to do some gains exchange one-to-one. I'm going to give you a couple suggestions on it. Okay. If there's someone in the room that you have a higher level relationship with, guess who you start with first? So get them first. Okay, that's suggestion number 1. Suggestion number 2 is when you're preparing to do your gains exchange with them, okay, select one and stay with them for the big part of this exercise. By the way, I will stop you and then you'll switch it, okay? Rather than make it a ping pong match of, well, let me tell you about my interests, let me tell you about your interests, oh my God, I love horses too. No, stay with them on your one-to-one. So in this exercise, do that, and I'm also going to suggest when you go out there and you do with your other parts of your network, you do the same way. Okay, so stay focused on that person. Are you ready? Okay, here's how it's going to work. I am going to give you 15 minutes to do a gains exchange. You'll select your partner. Okay, you'll select who's going to go first. I'm going to go for 15 minutes, and then when I ring the bell, you're going to switch. Okay, you can do one-to-one standing up. All you can do is sitting down, or you can move wherever you want to do, but in 15 minutes, the bell will go off, and we will switch. You understand the rules so far? Okay? Don't try to rush through the gains profile. It may be just one aspect. You may just be talking networks, or you may be just talking skills. Okay? But look for the deeper question underneath the question, more than trying to get a bunch of volume information in. Question?
Switch, we're switching speakers or switching partners?
You're switching attention. So if you and I were doing one and the attention's on you, when that bell rings, okay, then the attention's going to go to me, and you're going to be pulling the gains information out of me.
Okay.
So I want to tell you something about doing a gains exchange. It's really, really helpful when you do it and the other person understands what you're doing. And you can do this when people don't understand. You just have to be a little bit more skillful in drawing out the information and asking the right questions. Okay, but this can be done with someone that doesn't understand it, but it does work better when they do, because they can actually come prepared for the conversation. We good? All right, well, you have exactly 1 minute to partner up with somebody.
Sure.
Absolutely.
You got it.
Sure, why not?
Well,
I think so.
Need someone?
Hey, are you ready?
They're listening back.
How about you?
Hey, Susan.
I got 2 people trying to get you right now.
Oh, I got it.
You and Cooper.
Let me close the door.
Okay. I'll talk to you.
All right. Sure. Yeah, pull up the chair.
Want a game?
Don't cut my wire.
On that one. Oh, yeah.
Anybody not have a partner right now? Raise your hand if you are not partnered.
Is anyone not?
Okay, let's do.
Oh, wait, you can go with him. No, Mike. Just want to make sure everybody has a partner. Yeah. Okay. Okay, if she's not partnered up. If she's not. If they are, then we'll go.
On Thursday?
I would say,
Do you not have a partner?
okay, we can.
You did say there was one patient where you guys, there were 2 chairs where you were.
You have it. And when like 30 people show up, yeah, it was really well, it's going to be a ripple effect. I like reading. I like the hand knitting.
And as a group, should we celebrate that with our kids? More readers later on?
Are they going to be in that? Is that why?
No, Dylan wouldn't be in it. He's too old. So I'm not espousing that. I wish he had one.
Kind of broke my heart, but it's really important. And I have to,
We always been that way, like in the mini like that. Like you get into that.
No, you can't do it because it's never when I first got so it doesn't affect me.
Like
no personal connection to it. I think that's what's being focused on. What are we doing for and how can we mirror continue to support what we hear?
Yeah. That is, I definitely feel like weird.
Because
like actually, there's part of me that really doesn't.
That's so unfortunate. And you don't know if my son got cerebral palsy.
it's just,
One of my dreams. So now, so this is going to be a cancellation?
Yes. Well, we're
Based on.
No, necessarily.
Okay, that program's already up and running.
Oh, totally. Yeah, and they were one of the under the
Yeah, exactly.
And I didn't even know that before I said, let's go.
Have you been through that?
It was, I was sitting there, I knew we were going to get into a conversation.
And everyone's going to have that for 5 good.
The wall that can go to this right now is a great. So, maybe we can do a day So I'm heading to figure out what time before we get started. Somebody said part of the bill that's watching for a second. And so what would happen then is, I was pretty excited about it. I didn't expect to feel so pushed about it. How long is the market? And then you, it's like, when you travel, do you like plan it out, or is it sort of like free for all, like just go Oh, and your friend who was... I don't know what we're supposed to be doing. I was like, I was expecting they like know. What did he say? I know what you personally get to, right? You know what is funny because I was thinking about...
Do you speak Spanish?
No. Hell of a ping pong game. That was so funny. A great tournament. That you read with I was like, I don't know that much about you. Oh, no. The whole time. Oh, is that what he said? No, I thought you heard it. No, I was sharing with you because you got that's why I was telling you about how the project was going. I want to know about No, I tried. And then going to the next level, brought questions to bring Oh, all right. Go ahead. Keep asking questions. Keep asking questions. So that's your class? No. It was like, please tell me that microphone.
We are going.
Our whole conversation was live. That's perfect. All right. No, but that was it was intellectual. Oh, it was. So that's cool though. Well, because I mean, it's so cool because it's amazing that I yeah, that's very cool. Well, I like I think I made a mistake with them as far as contacting somebody. I thought I had to get that and off the ground, but I don't think I get the newspapers or whatever. And I don't know if I wasn't even all those there. I'll reach out to
me and my friends growing up, we I guess we're like on Facebook and online and stuff to get more of them and make that. I get more stuff from email. What's that? Stamps? Flyer that comes out. I didn't catch hogs. Yeah.
But she got more time to communicate.
Had like an it's like a game. Well, yeah. I like it if you have like a product with your flavor, you like a tie. So I did an experiment. I did it one way and I did it put in it.
Yeah, I missed something with the right. So it's funny. That's the one I hate. It's not so much like she's even That's a good perspective.
Well, that's what is that? Yeah, what is that? Like, what? So, actually, like, communicating to other people.
No, there's something else she does like that. About whatever you can help.
Yeah.
Which is so, I mean, that's basically you do step up and do.
So, I mean, in that regard, do you find that?
What, I mean, I think I met. Yeah. How was that? Was it fun? It was fun. I really liked it.
That she good.
I don't know what it is in a relationship, or maybe you just got a lot of credibility. Yeah, but she was, I mean, if you notice it, what about Mickey? Where's Mickey there?
That was better.
Yeah. And it was very genuine.
Yeah, I believe that. I don't think Kathleen has much option other than all the time. Always. Yeah, that's actually one of the things that I was coaching her. Sometimes Kathleen. But I totally love her. She did something on Facebook earlier. I was going to comment on. It was,
So you got
she posted a meme that said, I like when guys in their 20s get on there and I can tell them that my phone number is 8675309 and they believe me. And I was going to post on there, yeah, because guys in their 20s are hitting on you all the time. I think she's a what I like about her, she speaks her mind. Wow. She's a strong, stand-up lady. She's totally taking care of her boys. And the fact that she has a business with her ex-husband says a lot about how she manages. No. I also find her moral compass to be pretty good. It's like you can't very alignment. So yeah, I like her a lot. And it helps if she accepts it.
So what are your goals?
I have three big fat hairy goals for next year. Two of them are business, one is personal. The first business goal I have is 50 speaking gigs next year. 50. So, even those of you that are on the camera, Mickey needs speaking gigs. So who do you know that organizes speakers for events, paid or unpaid? It could be Rotary, it could be a professional association, like photographers of Sonoma County, right? A professional association, bookkeepers in Marin County would be great. Any chamber of commerce in Marin, Sonoma County, even Napa County would be okay. I spoke at American Canyon last year. So any chamber, 50 speaking gigs. Paid or better, but I'll do the non-paid. So that's one. The second goal is the second goal is to write a book. My third goal, personally, is to reach my black belt. Which means I can only miss one out of 5 tests. I wasn't even starting with one. I was just telling you what was going on in leadership because that's what we have in the field. What's something we have in the field. Well, that's very good. Well, I'm like first. Yeah. Okay.
No, for me, I mean,
you know what? We'll do our next one. Don't want to go for that was fun. That pink one was intense. That was fun. But I'm not wearing this. I'm going to wear shorts and a t-shirt next time. Oh, you're wearing your outfit. Room to move.
Well, it's funny when it gets to cool like that. open up to the fact that you could like, I mean, doing it and then we just
Sure.
so it doesn't bother me. Ping pong is off. So yeah, I do love bowling. They're bowling like,
You know, bowling is one of the activities my daughter loves. She has her own ball. We got her own ball for her birthday. She loves bowling. I'd say out of her last 10 birthdays, all but one of them have been she loves bowling. Now this year, she's 24. Well, she'll be 24. She's autistic, so her range of what she likes to do is pretty limited. She loves bowling. I don't know why. There's something about that appeals to her. And she loves going. Pretty cool. The ball is helping hard stuff on it.
well, we should do well with like if I show up and you have an outing with her.
Totally. Totally. Yeah. No, she's more than merrier. It's kind of weird. It's very not autistic and actually it's a misnomer with one of those things that people think that autism would be around noise. They typically don't. They get worn out faster with that. But Sandra, she actually likes a lot of her family likes to be around and doesn't want to go straight anywhere. She probably will talk to you, but then she'll stay normally above and play give her games. No,
Like in social advantage, but not
she loves it. We can go bowling and the rest of the time we'll Ryan Perry's on a bowling team, so we'll right out. Yeah, we'll go bowling. Go to a couple Are you? Are you on a team?
We got that.
I got to do a team. Yeah.
Well, it's a commitment. It is a commitment. Well, we got our chapter here for a while. I actually did okay. I was a little but two or what's your average? That's a good average. So if I hit the 160 at half, yeah.
My brother probably could have semi-pro.
something I want to
He's so much. It really helps when you go for a spare on the outside. Pretty good with both.
And then they knew.
He was no, he was there a while. It was a while ago. He can see like shape, but he can't drive.
Dude, I have a friend, Heather's friend, her husband was legally blind, he can't drive. But you can see shapes and stuff too. He plays corner. I would do ace. He kills me. I'm out there. You see, he's like, yeah, no, I can see the shadow. You can see the shadow and go. 3 points. 3 points. I don't want to play you at now. Oh yeah, he loves joking about his site. He jokes about his site all the time. He's a beast.
I like the one.
Okay, did you see that?
No, huh?
Well, they wear different colors on yellow.
Oh.
Red. And they just people that color the fishermen. They both have the rain.
Oh, I'm not that guy.
They couldn't tell if it was so and it's like it's
I like it.
all wearing the gray outfit.
That's funny. I'm not that bad. I'm color deficient. Yellows with greens, greens with yellows and orange. I colored an entire Spider-Man book with brown when I was in grade school.
Typical.
I had a friend colored the whole Spider-Man thing brown and blue. Everyone's like, my friend's sister. Is that brown?
Like, what's that color?
Yeah, you know what kills me is when I do actually a pretty good job of doing all my certain kayak matches, but what Heather will see that I can never see is like if this guy's but a type has a lot going on and it'll have like flecks of purple in it or something, and we're like, I kind of look at purple and blues get thrown off on me. So yeah, sometimes I almost always like it. But what's funny is I was a graphic designer for years and years, kind of colored pictures. People was like, how did you do that? It's all paint by number. I used to see CMYK equivalents and I did the zone every time. Or RGB or hexadecimal colors if you don't know that stuff. It's all paint by number, so no big deal. But with my but what I also learned through color theory class is that statistics used to be probably has some of the worst colors in the world in terms of true color identification, and Mariska probably has the best. Young women, that's why they're so fashionable, because the fashion is everything to them because they can see colors so more clearly than an older guy can. And so you go into these press checks, and there'd be some old guy that runs the press for 25 years, and come on, do the press check, and I would say, hang on, go grab the receptionist, and bring the receptionist back, and go, what do you bring her here for? Because her eyes are going to see it way differently than yours. She said, no, that makes it too big. Yeah. I don't know how we can call it like that.
Now we
you just time now. See? This is what happens when two promoters have a one-to-one.
Well, you can just hear when right, all of that, and I did my challenge.
So everything they're saying is being recorded.
Not going.
I hope they're being a little careful.
Yeah.
So that's what.
So tell me your goals, so I can get those out.
Might be blackmail.
Two promoters having a one-to-one. You should get the audience here.
We do. Yeah. I told him it might be blackmail.
Please be really clear, this is not how Mickey does a one-to-one.
No, but I'm trying to get that.
Yeah, all right.
My big cup so out.
Go ahead, seriously, what are your goals?
You know, I have not lined up my, I have to sit down and line up my goals for next year.
Spoken like a true promoter at a one-to-one. I don't know what my goals are this year.
I have to make a goal. I want to get to 200 pounds.
Okay, all right. I haven't set a personal weight loss goal, but I will be happy to check in with you.
And more of it is getting down to that one. And it's so funny because that's what they get like you're sure tonight, so you have to do a lot of I'm going to be off this size again. You know, I got the size. I
got to fit back into it. What's that?
Can I help? How can I help?
Nice.
As we're talking about all that.
Yeah. So, and you haven't set your business. How'd you do in 2015? You know where you're at on your goals?
Yeah, I've never told them, but I increased my, I was top 10 on my pretty good at that. And my percentage was a little off, but better than the in supplement for my contract. So it wasn't as good as I kind of pushed my goal to be like 50% and you know what, there, but I got that for the goal of supplement. I got that from it was a huge lot of
What the whole story is about. Sure. Let's have that in the process, right? So are you going to set a supplement goal this year?
I'm going to say
What you're going to say there? Did you know what you're going to do this year that you're going to do next year?
And the company also helped me because they made us trying to do more one-to-one. It's tough the last 2 weeks because you're just funny to me as I can, but I think that what I did was the previous year I was supposed to get it. I asked people way it was good because I feel like it was like it came from me in some way. And it's so cool because a lot of people. They go, yeah. Sure, that was it. So it was a nice, subtle way to bring it up. Hey, how can I help you? And I helped my because obviously in my first time, he's been leading me on my term. And I need to meet him on his terms. Okay. In the sense that I've been doing, or one-on-one against my ideas and having fun. Oh, yeah. And without him, yes, he knows that I think the best part of me is to get me to go. Right. So I need to make a commitment with him. He said, okay, so let's meet at the off. Right. He said, why don't you make a little visit? So I'm glad where we're going to go time already. So I got to sit down and look at it. And then what's his game? 6 years. He's the one who the strategy with him are really good. The examiners when they teach them how to do whatever we have. I'm sorry? Zach Brush. He is that gentleman right there.
Yeah, this guy told me to tell him to smile.
Is that Eric Lacey?
No, it's Jason.
Oh, maybe Jason Chris. I'm not sure. So besides the weight gain, no weight loss. Weight gain. I'm trying to put off some pounds. Man, I gotta eat. Yeah. More mother's So what other personal a vacation? Going anywhere? You doing anything?
I don't think
A goal? You don't have a handicap goal?
Not a handicap goal. No, once I stopped keeping my handicap, I don't have any fun.
Oh, I really got it. That's why I stopped.
All right, come back to your seats.
All right. Oh, cool.
Yeah. Okay.
In the new year, Dan.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm good, thank you. Did anyone find an opportunity to get the deeper question?
Yeah.
What was that? Where did you go? So they shared something with you and you said... Yes. You found common ground. Okay, so you actually found out something. Were you doing it with Gail? No. You did it with Michelle, and you found that you had something in common? And what was that?
Love for family,
Okay, so you had a value share. Beautiful. Who else?
We did too.
Yes.
Connie and I.
Yeah.
She was cruise travel consultant and I'm a cruiser.
Good, excellent. Did anybody find that this little bit of structure that we put in there for a short amount of time still made for a more productive conversation than you had in some of your previous one-to-ones? So this is what I'm going to ask you. I feel that you can substantially make a difference in the effectiveness of your networking. Almost like a Bill Russell, in terms of making your team better if you commit and you have more deliberate one-to-ones. Okay, this is the structure. Trust me, there's nothing better than BNI meetings, there's nothing better than going out there and networking in other organizations, okay? And that sets the platform for you to move forward with the deeper relationships, okay? And that happens when you get intimate, when you get one-to-ones, okay? Well, I've shown you today is how the one-to-one works within a G.A.I.N.S format. Okay? If you'd like to see other ways that you can be using one-to-ones, talk to Mickey, talk to Leslie. They've got 5 other strategies, 5 other agendas that bring it to the next level. Okay, what we did today is we set the foundation. Okay, so go meet with them, ask them for a consult, and they'll be able to explain what some next steps might be. So, before we continue, move on, okay, have I shown you where you can network and how you can network? Yeah. Okay, have I given you the tools to do better networking when you get personal one-to-one?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a series of workshops that my wife, Dawn Lyons, and myself have been asked to do here in the local area. The Chamber of Commerce came to us and asked us if we would do professional development. That's what this is, extremely affordable workshops. These workshops will be small, they will be intimate, and they will be action-oriented, as today's was. By the way, this is also a nice illustration of the work that Danielle does. She does the graphic design work for the Chamber of Commerce. Okay, so that's a little call out there. So if you'd like to participate in these, please fill them out. We'd love to get you enrolled in these. This is intended for Chamber of Commerce, but one of the requirements I had is, yes, I will do them, and my wife will do them, but only if we can invite our friends. And they said, sure. And then they got scared because they thought we might have more friends than would be able to participate in the Chamber. I don't think that's the case. I think we're going to have a great opportunity to cross-pollinate both BNI members and Chamber of Commerce members. You know, in closing out, I would like to hear maybe a couple of ahas before I wish you a very, 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 very Christmas and happy holidays. Any ahas about today's workshop and this experience? Yes.
I learned that I have to be more respectful of my time budget.
Good. Good. Value that time budget. Good.
Jim and I coupled up, and we even had coffee before, but this was way different. It was like we really clicked on a so much deeper level. It was amazing.
Okay, so I'm gonna put a little pressure on you. Schedule another one. Really, what you did right here, you just got started, and I didn't even give you enough time to complete anything. Okay, I absolutely encourage you to schedule another, and schedule the rest of those one-to-ones that you want to have. Okay, now, I know the holidays put people out of town and all that kind of stuff, but I'm going to tell you a little secret. You know what most people have going on during the holidays? Nothing. Because everybody's busy doing holiday stuff, so believe me when I tell you there's tremendous networking opportunities between now and the end of the year, because what's going on? A lot of nothing. Okay, is anyone here in the retail business? Okay, you're busy. Everyone else? Right? So don't be shy on scheduling those one-to-ones in the next couple of weeks. What else?
I had an aha. I've been in BNI about the referral to Hillary Highlands Country Club in Oakland for 4 years. And I take copious notes at every meeting because I'm kind of a life learner and I like to take notes and remember things. And I keep them all in a binder. And I notice people always watch me taking notes. And during the 10-minute presentation, they look at me more than other people in the room because they know I'm taking notes and listening. And I never realized that gave me credibility with them. That was an aha for me today.
And I'm glad you're taking notes. By the way, anybody else that, trust me, taking notes. So just a little learning study. They study people that take notes and don't take notes, who retains more. Take notes. Then they did a study between people that take notes on their tablets or their computers and people that handwrite notes. Who do you think retains more? Handwrite notes. So then they disconnected all online apps and all apps on the laptop and did a study between taking them, typing them in, and writing them. And who do you think learned more? Writing.
And I heard also that if you write on blank paper rather than lined paper, it's supposed to be better. I don't know why, but...
Oh, I want to take bad penmanship and no lines. So, just to kind of add to that, when you're listening to people, I mean, really, really, really listen, okay, and do it with eye contact. Okay, you want to talk about being noticed in the room. When people are doing their presentations and you're making eye contact with every one of them, they will see you, see them, see you, see them.
Wait, I'll take that one again.
And you will be the most remembered person in the room. And how simple is that for an early stage relationship? Okay, visibility, early stage. Okay. And that's all about when you're participating, like in here, or you're participating in a BNI meeting, or you're participating in another meeting. It's all about being present. Okay, about being present. I can walk into any room and be invisible. I can walk into any room and be invisible. It's not hard to do. Okay, all I need to do is disengage, not make contact, and at the end of the day, I'm there, I leave, and nobody even knows I was there. Okay, and then I can show up and I can be completely visible and completely present. Anybody want to test that out with me? Come with me to Home Depot right now. Okay, all I have to do is, first of all, dress like this and walk down the aisles, okay, and look at people and just acknowledge people there, working and not working. I guarantee you, before I walk 3 aisles and on my way out, somebody will ask me where something is. Okay, guaranteed. And at the same time, I walk in and out of those stores all the time, and it could be completely invisible. Okay, so I'm glad that was an insight to be present. What else? Yes.
I found that it's a lot easier for me being the one asking the questions than the one who's focused on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a lot harder for me to dig out and give the responses than listen to the other person.
Those other 5 strategies would really help you in that area. Okay, just the other agendas I'm talking about, they would really help you move past that and be able to receive. Okay, and to have that opportunity for you being the one that's sharing. Good. Well, I'm really very, very, very impressed and very pleased that you came here today. I know a lot of people like to unplug for the holidays. I don't like seeing that happen. I like seeing people engaged. I like seeing people plugged in. I like seeing people invest in themselves. And just as importantly, we're making a difference for the food bank. We're making a financial difference. We're going to make a food donation today. I just loaded up my car. I thought it was going to fall off my back. But it's all in my car, and so I thank you for that. And during this holiday season, Christmas, very Merry Christmas, very happy holidays to you. And I'll wish you the best. I'll be the last person here. Okay, I'm not going anywhere. There's plenty of food left. Okay, so either eat it or take it with you. If you have some other parties you might be going to, please do that. And again, to our sponsors, Leslie and Mickey, if you're serious about taking this next step, you're serious about developing yourself as a marketer, I highly encourage setting up a consultation with them. If you want to know what a consultation is, here it is. What they're going to do is they're going to do an intake. Okay, they're going to look underneath the hood. They're going to see what's working, what's not working, and how they might be able to help you. That's a consultation. Yes.
What's 128 Network Up? What is it?
What is networking up?
Well, no, I know, but what is it for that particular class?
Yep, it's on January 28th.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mike, it's on the front. I'll read
That's
it.
okay. It's a workshop called Network Up. It's about enhancing your network, enhancing your relationship to network up any organization. So it's working with better contacts in a stronger way. All right. Well, thank you very much. Happy holidays.